Hi, how you all doing? So, welcome to today. Today is new moon. It is, I just need to get the date. It is Thursday, the 11th of February. So 11, it's always a good number. Um, and it's new moon today. And on an energetic level, it's a 9 day. And in numerology, 9 is about closure. What do we need to say, I'm done with? And so, whilst we have this new moon energy, which is typically about inviting in and creating, we need to understand that in order to create, we need to get focused, we need to get intentional. And so, what needs to be closed off? What stories do we need to stop telling ourselves? What habits do we need to break? What parts of ourselves that take us to a very low frequency do we need to interrupt and say, enough of that? I want to create something different. And so this journey of closings and beginnings is really beautifully amplified by the energy of today, with the 9 numerology and the new moon. So I'm going to do 2 card reading for you. What needs to be released and what can you allow to come in? So that's how we do the new moon readings. What will be released? What do you need to focus on to release? And what can you allow or invite? Isn't that a good word? Invitations. What do you need to invite into your world? So I've just finished the creating the personal Freedom Blueprint program that I ran for free last week. What an amazing and inspirational journey with a group of souls that showed up dedicated to their growth and their light and their love. And it really has been a great joy working with each person in that journey. And so I have decided to keep, sorry, I'm just getting rid of any background noises quickly. I've decided to leave those videos open until the end of February, because this is the month of love and we really need to look at love in a whole new light, which I'll talk about more now. So if you haven't signed up yet for the Create Your Personal Freedom Blueprint, or you signed up and you didn't have a chance, please don't worry. They are available. Once you've signed up, you'll get the emails of everything sent to you. It'll just get this barrage of emails and it's there and you go through it in your own time. But really, it's a beautiful journey. It's a beautiful, beautiful journey. So I encourage you to do that. So February is a month of love, as I was saying. And, we typically look at this month of love, the Valentine sort of thing, as this very commercial, and we have to be in a romantic relationship. But I'm going to encourage you to look at love more as a state of grace, a state of awe about the world that you're in, and a state of grace and awe about yourself. I'm just looking around and loving what's possible, loving who you are, loving who you get to interact with, loving what is going on. Doesn't mean we need to like it. We've all had relationships with people in our families where we know we don't have to always like someone to love them, but we can love nonetheless. And so, what do you need to bring the energy of love to grace to appreciation and gratitude to? And really, that's going to be the self-love invitation for February. Every new moon, I do a self-love invitation, and this is to practice gratitude for self. Where do you need to appreciate yourself more? Sometimes we can appreciate ourselves for getting out of bed. Maybe we need to appreciate ourselves for all that we do. Maybe we need to appreciate our body for supporting us. What do you need to appreciate more in yourself? So those are the overarching messages. Let's see what the cards are and what the guidance is that comes through. So like I said, it's 2 cards. First card is, what do we need to release? Given this 9 energy, what are we closing? And then what do we need to allow? What do we need to bring into being, invite into our world? Okay, so let's see. It's card number 1. And there's card number 2. Okay. So I laugh because I always say this, you can't make this shit up. So the card that's come forward in terms of what do we need to release, is the card that says you are not being punished. You are not being punished. Now you'll see this card, there's this, many of you have seen it before. There's this cage, but the bird is not in it. The bird is choosing to sit on the cage and not fly away. And we see the dodecahedron or the cube here, which comes from the suit in this deck of cards called You Are Safe. Now, many of us live with an archetype within us. We all have this archetype, and it's the archetype called the victim. And the victim in us is the one that really needs some love, because we've all been bullied. We've all had things happen to us that we don't like. Life has got this complexity of events that happen to it. But feeling perpetually like I'm a victim, like someone's out to get me, like someone's to blame or something's to blame for my life. On the opposite side of that, that someone is going to come rescue me, something's going to change, some, God being or divine being or person or miracle. And miracles are real, but miracles don't happen in the victim mindset. And I don't mean that as a way of saying it's a punishment, because it's not. The miracles don't happen there because victims aren't allowing themselves. When we're in our victim state, we're not allowing ourselves to notice what's possible. Remember, I was talking about that earlier. So now this is not I am a victim. We don't want to integrate that as a identity. But what we can notice is, where does my victim show up? Where does that part of me that feels so helpless and hopeless show up in my life? How does it manifest itself into the things I think, the things I say, the things I do? This is, again, I'm going to say this is not something to be ashamed of. This is not something to belittle. This is something to honor, that every single human being in their sacred contracts of earth comes with a victim archetype, for us to heal it, for us to notice in this place of feeling like it's all overwhelming, and it can feel like that, and that's okay, is where do I need to step into my bravery? And that's one of the key cards for 2021, being brave. And the bravery may be asking for help. More importantly than asking, it may be receiving support, taking action, doing something differently, breaking up with the belief in the story. I don't have it in front of me. Wait a second. I do. The beautiful book by this woman, Edith Eger, called The Gift. I highly recommend it based on what we're talking about today. And she was in Auschwitz and went on, she was at 16, traumatized, and came out and became a psychologist, and has really worked a lot with people. And there's somebody who was truly a victim, truly in prison, truly locked up, and has written gifts and books about how we can stay trapped in our own mind, even when we're free. And so you're not being punished. There is no divine karmic big brother kind of waving his finger and saying, you shall suffer. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Experiencing bullying or unfairness is inevitable. Being a victim for a long period of your life is optional. So how do you free yourself? How do you take flight? And I love the card that's come up next, which is, remember, what do we want to invite into our life? And on the side of the card, look at the birds. It's time to give up. From the same suit, you are safe. So we've got this bird sitting here on this bird cage, and here we see the birds taking flight, but essentially the barbed wire has broken free and become the wings. And so how do you invite in possibility? And so the way that it's been shown is it's giving up what I'm focusing on that makes me feel small and miserable, and shifting my focus, giving up on that and saying, in everything in life, there is a spectrum of possibility of what we see. So let me change my lens. Let me change my focus. not in the avoidance tactic, because interestingly enough, most of the time when we're in this, we're avoiding accountability, we're avoiding action, we're avoiding help, we're avoiding talking about things. Whereas in this, I focus on what's possible, giving up on everything that makes me feel insecure and trapped, and focusing my mind, my words, my heart, my body with the freedom that is ours. And so what's just been received is I will include the freedom meditation that is part of the Create Your Freedom Blueprint process on the email. So do the freedom meditation and notice yourself freeing yourself from all the things that keep you trapped in a life that no longer serves you. It's time to give up. And in that, experience the joy of life. Life is here as an experience for joy. Now, that doesn't mean everything goes the way we want it to. That doesn't mean that there aren't challenges and complexities, but in that, there's joy too. And so joy lives alongside the messiness of life. So there you have it. You are not being punished. And it's time to give up. For the 2 cards for this new moon. I would love to hear your reflections and thoughts and insights and awarenesses. So please comment on the video and I will try my best to answer any thoughts or questions that come up there. Sending you lots of love. Namaste.